I think by law you actually have to have a runoff,
Okay.
and it has to be 50+1.
All right. Senator Tello?
Well, as far as the primary is concerned, I think the biggest issue here was that the Guam Election Commission was not ready. We brought them in on a bill to cancel the primary and to hear what they had to say with regards to, are they ready for it? At that time, we said they were, and then what happened? They came to us saying that they don't have enough people, precinct pollers. They're not ready, set up to run a safe primary. And it was so disheartening to hear that, because we gave trust that they would be ready to go and run a good primary, but unfortunately they didn't. We understand that, even with the pandemic, like Juan Carlos said, we could have done this safely. I voted in the primary as well.
Me too.
We did it safely, but then again, you had the Election Commission telling us they were not ready to run a safe primary, and that was the bottom line. So live and learn.
Julian?
Hi. So I didn't really have anything more to say about the delegate race. I was more interested in the legislature, and actually that's kind of where my priority is. I've been kind of looking at the results, and so far it kind of comes in similar to a very simple thing that I did, where I just sort of took a look at where people were last time and kind of gave a little extrapolation for people who had run in 2016, and the order is very similar. I don't know where Juan Carlos Benitez is coming along and suggesting that perhaps there's, I don't know, damage to someone or not coattails or whatever. I don't really think that people were voting for the governor. The governor's on the ballot, and people were voting for the individual candidates, and you can see that is reflected in the numbers and their placement relative to each other.
Juan?
I thought Julian was saying 9-6 or 10-5 earlier in the night.
Oh, I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be that way. It's possible. I don't know. I was hopeful it was going to be 9-6. I think it could be, but who knows really? It's just it's not that big of a difference really to go from, like, for example, Pito Terlahi and Sabina, if they improve in a number of the upcoming precincts, like in Jotnya, if they both do well there, say, or a number of the other southern areas like Telefofo, or forgot which other ones are outstanding. They could certainly turn around the difference to push down Brian Brown, but I'm not sure.
My other comment on the coattails is when Governor Calvo was governor, Governor Camacho were governor, and you had midterm election, the governor was everywhere supporting the candidates. They were in all the pictures. They were embracing the governor, as candidates were embracing the governor as they were running through the election. I think it's interesting that in this election, you didn't see any of the candidates running to be embraced by the sitting governor, or the governor sort of sending their list of who they felt were the best candidates to be elected. That is interesting and intriguing. I'm not part of the Democratic Party, so I don't know why it was done that way. It's traditionally, you want to see your leaders around you and supporting you. This seems sort of weird that it was like they were distancing themselves from the governor.
Well, also picking up that comparison with Governor Calvo, when Governor Calvo was governor, I mean, the biggest challenge he had was raising the BPT as a result of Donald Trump. This governor right now, does not have the luxury of spending all this free time campaigning and politicizing things. The lady really is doing the best she can to protect lives. And like, I don't know what else to say. There's this global pandemic that we don't have a cure for. And every day that she has to make the tough decisions.
So you're telling me that the senators asked for her support and candidates and she said, no, I'm too busy?
That's not what I said. What I said was her focus at this time is to protect lives. She does not have the luxury of doing what Eddie Calvo had the opportunity to do. She is busy saving lives. For crying out loud, the governor's background is as a nurse. Her main objective right now, she defers back to her professional training. She's busy trying to figure out how to save lives. When she reads in the newspaper that nurses are just leaving, running into the bathroom to go cry for 5 minutes because they know they have to go back to work because that's what the community expects out of them, you know, she knows how to put herself in their shoes because she was there. She has walked that path. And feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Hey, but she also got
I have
COVID,
no problem.
and that's an important distinction, sure.
Wow,
And also,
wow. Are we blaming people for having a disease?
At 4:30 in the morning, one of the things that none of us are talking about right now is we are not looking at the voter turnout right now with half the precincts. We're
It's
only
about half.
25% of the way in. We, as a community, have to be concerned that we're electing people to public office with a turnout at its absolute lowest ever,
Right.
with the highest voter registration ever. Is anybody concerned or just me?
I'm
Are you
concerned.
blaming someone for
concerned
the
about-
state
I'm
of
concerned
the
about the-
pandemic?
To get
I'm
out
not
the
worried about
vote,
that
because
part.
I know
You should be
a
concerned that our
month before
leaders
the election, I was
that
made
we're electing our
executive director,
leaders
and my
at a
mission
small
today was
rate.
to go get
Be
out the vote.
concerned.
We held town halls. We held all kinds of virtual discussions. I did everything I humanly could, and I was lucky to be blessed with the team I had. And we did do outreach. So, you know, maybe you guys didn't do enough voter outreach. Maybe, like, ultimately people are just worried that their lives might be impacted if they go vote.
What
And
about
that
voter
is
apathy? We're not
legitimate.
talking about how much apathy.
Yeah, apathy, because they're not really that upset about the situation in the way that you guys think that people are deranged. You think that people are deranged from the situation. You have been trying to distort everything and demagogue on the issue of a pandemic that the governor is trying to take in hand. And frankly, I am very disturbed to see the kind of demagoguery, the kind of irresponsible leadership coming from the Republican Party when they're constantly trying to take away whatever capabilities the government has to actually help people not spread this disease. It requires personal, it requires
in order to be
personal
criticized, you got to give them a
responsibility.
chance. Ask Senator Taitague. If you're not going to give her a chance to do something, you guys can't put the blame on the Republicans. Put the blame on Democrats, who for the last 2
The
years,
Republicans have only been taking away the capability to address it. They have not offered anything. They have not offered anything. And their plans for the economy, nothing.
Because of
Have you
leadership.
been watching session? Have you been watching
Yes.
session law and all the
You
bills
are
that we put forward? 312, 245.
I saw several bills. All of them are taking away the capability to address a pandemic.
No, they're bills that would assist moving forward.
No,
You haven't
no.
allowed.
It's
you
taking
haven't
away-
allowed-
It's taking away people's right to live. It's taking
No,
away
it
the
hasn't,
right
Julian.
to
Which
to
session
deal
are you
with
watching?
a serious
Yours are on
pandemic.
So we're not
And
concerned
you guys
about
are
this
responding
turnout.
to crazies
Nobody
on the
is,
internet,
really doing that.
people on Facebook who are losing their minds, and you guys are pandering to this bullshit. Sorry, I shouldn't have said it. And it's just irresponsible.
You need to
It's
calm
very
down,
irresponsible.
Julian, and really put things into perspective here, because we've been doing everything we can possibly to help.
No, you have not. You've been
We
taking
have.
away capabilities
Okay, well, I'm not going to try
and calling people dictators.
You're living in a different world.
So comparing a governor
Gotta be loving, Chris. Gotta be loving, Chris.
using a bill, using a law that your own governor had introduced.
We're not even invited
years
to
ago.
meetings, Julian. We're not even invited to meetings to find out what we can do. You know, we're put in situations where the meetings.
What
are
happened to
forbidden.
Kumbaya,
I know what you're
guys?
talking about.
What
Yeah,
happened to
we-
Kumbaya?
Oh, Chirag, don't even go there.
I mean, you have meetings on Fridays. You said yes. And then you said GMH should be there.
Go to meetings that are controlled, Chirag. We don't have any part of it.
You know, you guys just
No, we
keep doing
can't
the blame
we can't
game,
even
and it's
invite
really disgusting.
we can't even
You guys are
invite- we
taking
can't
away
even
the
invite-
capability to address things. The governor has offered, you know, her
We can't even invite
measures.
the hospital at these Friday meetings.
You don't give her
We
the
only
enforcement
get
authority
one-sided.
to actually do
We only
something,
get
to actually
and
affect people's
that's it.
behavior so that they will do what is responsible in our community, so that we can get this under control, so that so we can actually reopen. How are we going to reopen when people are being irresponsible and there's no ramifications for that?
We can rebuild
Yeah.
the but we
And
can't.
demagoguery. Oh, right. Everybody has right. Everybody has a right to live. Everybody has a right. Never mind. Go ahead.
I didn't know I opposed the right to life.
Yeah, you guys are okay, sorry. There are certain people who are following an irresponsible death cult, which is being led by the president of the United States. This is a reality, because what he has said is irresponsible on so many levels, all the way back to like January, February. He knew that he was misleading the public, and all these people are having their minds warped because they're believing him because he's the president, and you guys are taking advantage of that, or you're taking it and you're paying attention to all these crazies online, these people on Facebook who are constantly vilifying the governor for trying to make a few moves to get this thing under control. There was a bill way back in April to provide enforcement authority. You guys managed to take that away. Okay, I'm not saying that was the perfect bill, but what have you offered? You've offered nothing. I'm done. Bye.
Oh, yes, you are done, because you obviously are not, on Guam right now.
What?
Your mind is not here. Julian, this is the first time I've ever really heard you speak out, which is, I'm glad to really finally get to know what kind of person you are. And it's obviously, I was totally wrong about you. You really do not have it all.
How dare you?
Here. And so
How dare you?
I'm so surprised that you would think that way, about Republicans who are trying.
It's disgusting what you guys are doing. What you guys
There's
are doing in the
nothing-
middle of a pandemic is demagoguery, and it's destructive to the community.
What are we doing?
Okay, what? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what are we doing, Julia? That's so disgusting.
It's constantly about reopening. It's always about reopening.
All these other countries in the
Earlier
world.
on, like an hour ago, you were talking about how this really isn't a thing and we should just learn to live with it. That's what you said. Those words came out of your mouth.
It's called
It is
coexisting,
irresponsible.
Julia.
You're
It's called
coexisting with a
coexisting.
COVID-19 virus
The
that is spreading
balance,
through the
yes.
community. Like
We don't
100 people a day
Julian,
getting new
Julian,
infections.
can you let the
Sorry.
senator talk, please?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Julian, it's about coexisting, a balance. Our economy is dying. People are out of jobs. 30,000 people are out of jobs at this point. Look at Japan. Look at Singapore. Look at Korea. Look at all these other countries that are building up their economy. Italy, for example, they're opening up all their business. This is where the epicenter where the COVID happened. We don't have a vaccine at this point. So right
And
now
you know
we
what
need
they
to
have?
learn to coexist and wearing our masks and do the 3 Ws. I mean, even the WHO is telling us to do that. But in the meantime, we have to strike a balance here. We've got 30,000 people, again, out of job, Julian, that needs help. We're doing everything we can. We're trying to keep the businesses up afloat. We've introduced legislation to roll back the BPT. We've introduced
which takes out a bunch of money from the economy.
Julian, we let you talk, Julian. Just let me finish this last part. We have been trying to get our message across and trying to assist with moving forward and building our economy up, as well as keeping people safe. I've introduced a bill at the very beginning to build our new hospital, to get our healthcare up to standard. Unfortunately, it was on deaf ears for a year and a half. I introduced that bill, Bill 5. So don't tell me that we haven't been doing anything to address it. You are so wrong.
If I may, I just want to have a factual observation here and correct me if I'm wrong. Bill 5 all it does is create a task force to talk about how we can fix the hospital, which we all know, by the way, through reports of like military engineers. Here are the issues. This is what you got to fix. But instead, we're going to say that we try to fix the hospital when it doesn't give money to fix the hospital. All it does is
That's wrong. This bill found $200,000. I went to Gita and I found $200,000 for this task force. How many bills do you know that introduced and passed?
You don't build a hospital for $200,000
to back it up. You don't just put a task force together and hope that, okay, everybody get together, sit on the table and figure this out. No, I brought in $200,000 to bring the experts in, to use funding for that. You tell me of a task force that actually has funding backing it up.
Did the military do it for us for free?
The military, no, I started at the very beginning. And all of a sudden, we're going to wait until the Army Corps of Engineers come forward to tell us we need to build a new hospital. It's in our face for the last 15 years. The hospital's been falling apart. And we're supposed, let's wait for the Army Corps. Were they going to give us money to build a new hospital?
Who's the governor for the last 15 years? Was it Julian Guerrero or Hitler or who was it again?
Like I said, we put out a plan. We started a plan. We found the funding to move this forward. But what happened? This administration decided to wait.
The military did it for free, so we can use $200,000 to go invest it in our economy. Thank you for the military.
This wasn't a grant. This was a grant. It didn't come from the general fund, Chirag. This came from Gita through a grant that we, I've been working on since February. And I'm glad we use that $200,000 for something else now. From a grant.
I think we should thank Juan Carlos for his friends in DC for signing off on the hospital engineering study, and now it's done. Thank you, Juan Carlos. Thank you for picking up the slack where Eddie Calvo did not for the last 8 years.
How does that improve enforcement of COVID-19?
To ensure that hospital would get built. Phil, you remember during the time we went to the legislature trying to find money to cover the hospital's expenses to rebuild the hospital during the Calvo administration. And if you need the governor to come on and tell you exactly what he did, I'll be happy to call him up right now.
Thank you for changing the subject.
Point of personal privilege. Guys, can we just stop being jerks, please? Can we? You guys have been acting like dicks. Come on, man.
I'm just trying to figure out how was the Republicans blocking the governor when the Democrats have a super majority?
Where's the $10 million for the hospital?
Well, apparently we've only found 200,000, but it should fix it. I think.
Hey, where's the concern for the low voter turnout? Let's go back to the election.
Yeah, let's talk about the election.
Is going to change soon, but where's the concern for the low voter turnout?
They're having too much fun ganging up on a lady.
I know. That's what I asked.
No self-control, guys.
There's a pandemic.
Jesus Christ. Go ahead, Sean. Low voter turnout. Yep. I just think it's a combination of people are scared to go out because of the virus, and there's also a lot of people are not worth voting for.